Good evening, I'm Ivor Wharton with the HGP Nightly News Week in Review for the week ending April 25th, 2014. Here is where we do a recap of the top stories covered this past week. And now for the week in review. On Monday, it was reported that Amerindians must be involved in the development of their communities, according to the Amerindian People's Association.
Our people are an independent people. Our youth, our elders, we have lived without solely depending on funds coming from the government. You know, we have so much of resources.
Laura George said despite the resources at their disposal, the culture of Amerindians is under threat, and one of the projects she listed was the rice project in the Rupununi.
Our people can now have rice, fine, but then don't try to push away cassava bread. It's just as important and valuable to us as a people. I mean, that has been our identity. And among us, we know that there is no substitute for cassava bread or the farine. We know that. You know.
According to her, there is a need to reintegrate the young people into their culture, which is something to be proud of as a people, and that they should never be made to feel inferior. George, a program assistant with the APA, said that while development is important in the Amerindian communities, the people must be involved and on their own terms.
Because with development, you pay a price as well. So our people must be prepared to give up what they would like to have, because that's what development has been like throughout the years.
Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Ivor Wharton. That same day, Andrew Weeks reported that 5 companies are interested in establishing recycling companies locally.
2 of these companies are Caribbean-based, Caribbean registered. 2, in fact, 1 is 2 North American, and 1 is jointly North American and Guyanese.
Junior Minister of Local Government, Norman Whitaker. Whitaker said most of the companies that have sent in proposals have shown interest to recycle a number of items.
Example, integrated fiber board. Some of them have expressed interest in waste to energy, some in metal recovery for recycling and even energy recovery. Some have expressed interest in waste to energy, biodiesel, new products, etc.
Panther Recycling Corporation is the only company known by the public. The other 4 are still unknown. The Ministry of Local Government, when asked to name the other companies, refused to share their names. The Cabinet had set up an evaluation committee with the technical expertise from a number of ministries to evaluate the competencies of those companies. The probe will assess whether these companies met the requirements to provide the services of a recycling company. When asked how soon these companies can begin operation, Minister Whitaker said,
that evaluation committee will then rank them and make a submission to Cabinet.
Asked how soon he expects Cabinet's approval will be granted, the minister said the latest he expects an answer is by July-August 2014. Andrew Weeks reporting for HGP Nightly News.
On Tuesday, acting town clerk Carol Suba was not too pleased that City Mayor Hamilton Green and team prevented her from charging persons to use the seawall on Easter Monday.
Very obvious. If you look at the television and look at all the reports and the things, and if you look at their countenance on the TV, you look at their face and the expressions and the things that they've been getting on with, especially the lawless statements and what they did for. I think they're losing, that's my opinion, that they seem to be losing their mind.
Acting Town Clerk Carl Suba. Suba said the officers were carrying out a legitimate revenue collection exercise. Mayor Green, however, begs to differ in a major way.
When she can defy the minister himself earlier, when she can now get her members of the constabulary to behave like goons on the road, is intolerable.
The mayor said a young woman was selling a few items and the town clerk staff wanted her to pay $10,000 when her items were not even worth that amount.
We had to squat there. The Deputy Mayor Pat Green, Gregory Fraser, had to squat there to prevent them executing a cruel, uncaring act.
According to staff members from the office of the town clerk, Mayor Green took away the keys to the vehicle that were used to collect monies from vendors on the seawall.
And when they didn't respond, he just sneaked out from the vehicle, snatched the keys, scoot around like a rat, back inside the vehicle and sped away. I couldn't believe. But we have to now let the authorities, the powers that be, do what they can do in the circumstances to get their heads examined to see what's wrong with their brain up here.
Mayor Green said he has been going to the seawall for 4 decades, and the poor turnout was a testimony that citizens were afraid that they will have to pay to fly their kites and to sell a few items that would have interrupted the rich Guyanese tradition. The mayor also stated that Suba is a loose cannon who will soon understand how protests in the old-fashioned way brought down governments. Andrew Briggs reporting for HGP Nightly News.
In a follow-up report on Thursday, persons were being urged by councillors of the Georgetown City Council to approach the Treasury's Department for a refund of the monies collected by the acting town clerk on her team on Easter Monday.
The mayor saw a council's vehicle occupied by persons who were eating, lying down in the back seat and in the tray of the car at the back, drinking and eating and being merry. The mayor asked the question, who was in charge of this operation and vehicle? No one answered. They totally ignored the mayor and he left in his vehicle. We all left in the vehicle.
Deputy Mayor Patricia Chase Green, along with a number of councillors, as she addressed the media today on the reason for Mayor Green's action on Easter Monday. The acting town clerk had failed to carry out the mayor's written instructions not to collect monies from vendors on the seawall on Easter Monday.
It is wrong, and it is another attempt to discredit the mayor and councillors of the city of Georgetown. And I don't understand on what basis that a government, a minister of local government, is allowing an officer to behave in this matter without being sanctioned.
Meanwhile, local government minister Norman Whitaker said if collecting fees from vendors was not sanctioned by the city council, then he will instruct Kyle Suba to refund all the monies. Councillor Fraser, who was present at today's press conference, made this statement.
I am calling on all the people that went out on the seawall that monies were taken from them illegally to come into City Hall even from the next hour and go to the town clerk and ask them for their money, because her minister said that he's willing to abide by the decision of the council, which is not to collect fees.
Chase Green said every time the council makes a decision, Suba refuses to carry it out, which is against standing orders. The court ruling is another big embarrassment to Ms. Suba and the government, according to Chase Green.
In the same ruling, the judge says that the Chief Justice said the minister had no authority. And in the same breath, the same minister who has no authority to appoint went ahead to say, look, I am now appointing you, you will stay there as acting town clerk, without calling the council to inform us. But we are objecting that we do not want her. She's unqualified.
The question is, will Suba give back those vendors their monies, or will she disregard the minister's orders when given, as she had done, the mayor's? Andrew Wicks reporting for HGP Nightly News.
More of the review when we return after this break.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Pick up the phone now and call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Here's another free offer from Giftland. When you spend $6,000 or more on any electronic beauty tool, you'll receive 3 Pantene Pro V heat protection sprays absolutely free. Offers valid while stocks last, only at Giftland.
Thanks for staying with us. On Tuesday also, Andrew Weeks reported that 2 parents are accusing the Ministry of Culture of covering up the rape of their daughter at the hands of teenage boys at the institution.
2 weeks after failing to provide answers to the National Assembly on the reports of the Commission of Inquiry on the 2012 unrest at the New Opportunity Corps, the Culture Ministry is now faced with another scandal. This time, it's the rape of 16 girls under the age of 16. Parents Brian Ashby and Colleen Osborne of one of the victims said their daughter, Shavika Ashby, escaped because she was pressured into having sex with the caregivers at the NOC.
And she said when she she was out there 3 days, then some boys go for them, and they had sex with her before carrying her in back. And I'm very annoyed because they could call me. They call me when they really need us, and they could call me at that time. I went to court last Thursday. They know me. They didn't even tell me that the case was postponed until the probation officer come down and tell me.
Shavika Ashby's parents said she was sent to NOC because she was a disobedient child and that they wanted her to get reformed. But now, to hear this matter out of an institution they trusted to take care of their child is heartbreaking. According to reports, the parents were not informed of the situation that 16 young girls broke out of the institution and had to pass through the courts.
My daughter showed me one of her friends that got out a couple months ago. And she's pregnant.
It's like we could hear Shavika in Boybe's prison. Because we normally visit here, but nobody never, indicate to us there is any problem, with Shavika or anything.
Shadow Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports for the APNU, Christopher Jones, said Dr. Frank Anthony is saying that the institution is back on track and everything is okay. But now the truth is out.
But in a recent interview that the Chronicle newspaper did with the minister, the children, when he sat down with them, the children told him that the reason for the unrest in 2012 had nothing to do with their meals and so forth. It had to do with being pressured into having sex with the caregivers. And that is why in my budget presentation I stressed the point. I was asking the question of the minister. Any of these caregivers that have been found culpable, have any of them been dealt with? And to date nothing has happened. And
Brian Ashby and Colleen Osborne said they made contact with the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport for answers on the issue, but were given the royal runaround. Shavika Ashby is at the Sophia Juvenile Detention Center awaiting her court date. They are asking for their daughter's immediate release and for the perpetrators to be brought to justice. Andrew Weeks reporting for HGP Nightly News.
In a follow-up report on Wednesday, Culture Minister Dr. Frank Anthony said there were no reports of inmates being raped according to the report he received.
These children that come to us, they're not, they have various problems, right? And the courts would have sentenced them to NOC. So they're not angels that are coming. They're people who got problems. That's why they ended up with us in the first place.
Dr. Frank Anthony, Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, as he was addressing the media on allegations of sexual abuse of juveniles at the New Opportunity Corps. Mr. Anthony, armed with a report from the institution, said it made no mention of teenage inmates being sexually abused, but spoke of the escape of 11 inmates, 7 boys and 4 girls, from the facility on March 22nd. Allegations of rape, the minister said, must be reported to the police.
We were only able to recover the students on the 24th, which was the Monday. And when we got them back, one of the things that would be done, they take them through a medical examination, and this was done at NOC and also at Surrey Hospital.
The juvenile detention facility are not condoned, according to Dr. Anthony.
A child can come forward and say this person would have done them wrong, like a staff of the institution, right? Then we want to know that.
Yesterday, the parents of a 15-year-old inmate at the facility said there are attempts to cover up the rape of their child at the hands of male inmates at the facility. This is not the first time that allegations of rape emanated from the facility, as there were instances where inmates left the facility pregnant. The fathers were said to either be staff members or male inmates. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Ifa Wharton. Also on Wednesday, a mother is seeking help for her teenage daughter who attempted suicide at the juvenile facility. When she tried to kill herself?
She tried to kill, she didn't particularly tell me where, but she got the thing where she stabbed herself. She got done, she got caught when she had, she run away from licks. She said she run away from licks.
For now, the identities of both mother and child will be withheld. However, the distraught mother said her 16-year-old related to her that inmates are severely beaten by staff of the institution.
Because they're beating them all in the head, the belly, and beating them on the parts. She said there was so far for body surgery and put the hand in the parts.
The mother of 5 said she made the decision to have her eldest child, who is also a Suriname citizen, committed to the institution due to her behavior, but said it is a decision she has come to regret.
I think I was sending her there then to get betterment. But I didn't know she would be beaten up for this.
According to the mother, her daughter in several instances reported the abuses to her, which she in turn reported to several officials, including a social worker at the Ministry of Human Services, but nothing was done. The mother said the only comfort she has been able to give to her child is to tell her to pray constantly.
I say you pray a lot and pray that you come out of his. I want me daughter to come out of them. Because I can't beat my child home, and they beating she up and doing she all kind of thing in there.
The mother, who contacted Nightly News this morning, said this is another attempt to highlight her daughter's plight. The teenager, in a letter to her mother, clearly points that she is troubled and in need of urgent help. Writing on an exercise page, the teen said she might be the first child to kill herself at the institution in order to ease her pain. She also wrote that her sister, another inmate, attempted to take her life by jumping from upstairs, but was caught by a staff. The teenager, along with 10 others, will return to the Saudi Magistrates Court on May 2nd to answer the charge of escaping from the facility. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Ifa Wharton. We will return with more news after this break.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Pick up the phone now and call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Thinking about purchasing a vehicle for commercial or private purposes? We recommend Surindra & Sons Auto Sales, located at 11 Crossway North Public Road, East Coast, Demerara. You can choose from a stylish lineup of vehicles at the best prices in the country. Also in stock are RAV4 chrome kits, grille, crash bars, side doors, side steps, pitbull chrome kits, alarms, tape decks, and much more. Come in and visit us today at Surindra & Sons Auto Sales, located at 11 Crossway North Public Road, East Coast, Demerara.
You're still with us on The Review. On Thursday, Travis Chase reported that President Donald Ramotar called on the Guyana Police Force to do more in their attempt to solve crimes.
Being a victim of a crime is often a harrowing experience, which can be made even worse if the police fail to carry out an effective investigation or fail to conduct an effective prosecution. Today, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Donald Ramotar, spoke out against poor prosecution or lack of proper preparation of cases. The head of state pointed to two of Guyana's most recent high-profile killings, the cases involving cricketer Carly Barton and businessman Rondi Jagdeo.
It is really heartrending to see persons who have been shown on national television shooting another person but walking away from the court, or another person who was accused of murder having a motorcycle waiting for them, as if anticipating that as if probably knowing beforehand what would be the outcome.
The president also chided the police for failing to secure attendance of material witnesses to the court, failure to warn witnesses to attend court, and the failure to apply for summonses to ensure witnesses attend court.
These things we have to put a stop to. If we do not, we will encourage an avalanche of crimes in our society. And all of us in the disciplined forces and in the judiciary must work strenuously to ensure that these things are ended.
Ramatar said that while his government has invested heavily in the training of police prosecution, value for money is expected.
The government has provided substantially for the training of police prosecutors, and we will continue to do so. But we would like to see a qualitative improvement in prosecutions. We want to see value for money here as well.
In this regard, Ramatar said that the image of the force must be painted well, and as such, corrupt persons from the force will be gotten rid of. He was addressing the opening of the Guyana Police Force's annual officers' conference.
Also on Thursday, Andrew Weeks reported that there is a call for more male teachers to be recruited in the education system.
The major concern raised this year at the Women's Advisory Committee of the Guyana Teachers Union was the issue of gender equality. How can teachers in the classroom deal with this situation? The feature address was delivered by Ms. Arville Crawford, a former president of the Guyana Teachers Union, who told the audience of female head teachers and senior teachers that teachers in the classroom need not misunderstand what gender equality means.
For some people, gender equality means that I can do the things that men do. Yes, we can do, but there is a boundary. There is a line that defines you as a woman as against a man. We have got to understand that.
Among the other issues that were raised at the conference was one which recognizes that in the absence of a male teacher, female teachers need to know how to strike the balance so that information about gender issues is transferred to the students in the right way.
There is a well-trained teacher, graduate, yes, dressed nice, speaks nice, and go before the class. And I like Miss, she's a nice person, she's dressed nice, she'll teach good. And that is what the girl will say. And I want to be like Miss. The male, on the other hand, he will look at her and he will have male thoughts. And he's saying to himself, but she ain't talking to us as boys. What we gonna do? We getting no encouragement. They're not giving us no advice. And so I don't find any interest here in the class, so I can just drop out.
Ms. Crawford pointed out that there must be a national strategy in Guyana to recruit more male teachers in the teaching profession, because the molding of the nation depends on both male and female teachers.
The shortage of male teachers could be identified as one of the key factors in the low motivation, underperformance, and high dropout rates being seen in boys and male adolescents. Ensuring the presence, visibility, and active engagement of positive role models for boys and girls is a key factor in improving gender equality in education.
There were presentations made by the Minister of Education, Premanik Chand, greetings from delegates from across the region, including Honorary Member Ms. Magna Pollard and APNU MP Ms. Amna Ali. There was also an overview done by the chairman of the WAC, Ms. Stacey Benjamin. Now that the teachers here and head teachers are fully aware of what gender equality is all about, it is hoped that when they get back into the classroom, they will disseminate this information to the students, boys and girls, so that when they get older, they will understand that gender equality is not just about females, but it's about both sexes. My name is Andrew Weeks, reporting for HGP Nightly News.
On Friday, Handel Duncan reported that the shortage of magistrates continues to be a major concern.
The highlighting of the shortage of magistrates in certain magisterial districts is causing some amount of inconvenience to lawyers and litigants, in addition to an increasing backlog in the number of unheard court cases. This is according to the Judicial Service Commission. The body, in a statement to the media, explained that the shortage of magisterial manpower is just one of the many adverse consequences being experienced by the justice system since a fully constituted Judicial Service Commission does not exist. This delay in fully constituting the Judicial Service Commission, the body stated, will compound the difficulties already faced by an overburdened judicial system. In addition to the shortage of magistrates, the Commission stated since November of 2013, the Land Court in Georgetown has been without a commissioner of title. To this end, the Commission is appealing for those constitutionally tasked with the responsibility of recommending or making appointments to the Judicial Service Commission to do so with the aim of addressing the many issues highlighted. Handel Duncan reporting for HGP Nightly News.
And finally on Friday, Andrew Riggs reported that the much-anticipated report into the irregularities at the National Communications Network is still not in.
I would want to believe that the matter would have died, but it obviously has not died. And
Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon. According to Dr. Luncheon, whether the outcome of the special investigation and the recommendation of the auditor are accepted, decisions have been taken with regards to the issue.
We've had two parties at the NCN whose functions were pinpointed in that report. Neither of the two remain within the employ of NCN.
Dr. Luncheon said that what was submitted by the auditor as his recommendation and the specific terms of reference continue to be a source of concern to the government.
I, for one, feel that he overstepped his bounds, went beyond his TORs in the recommendations that had been made, and more than likely that has stultified any action on those recommendations.
Back in March, President Donald Ramotar at a press conference said that he was not prepared to answer questions about the report. But according to sources, the president may not be ready to stamp out corruption at the National Communications Network. In a leaked report prepared during the first half of 2012, it was revealed that on the part of the NCN, one area of irregularity was tracked back to GT&T and involved millions of dollars in advertisements. NCN's former Chief Executive Officer Mohammed Sattar resigned in June 2012. The entity's program manager Martin Gulsaran, who admitted that he had deposited a payment check from the telephone company into his personal account, was suspended without pay. However, the findings of the investigation submitted to Ramotar would determine the future of the two men or whether the findings would engage any legal action. Sources have also revealed that the two NCN offenders have long ago settled comfortably into new jobs and are least troubled about the situation. Andrew Wicks reporting for HGP Nightly News.
And that has brought us to the end of this edition of the HGP Nightly News Week in Review for the week ending April 25th, 2014. On behalf of the HGP Nightly News team, I'm Ivor Wharton, thanking you for staying with us and wishing you a pleasant rest of the evening.